Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I'm very happy that you are here for this first panel discussion. Yesterday there was a fruitful conference and the evening event. We have outstanding panelists, and I'm very happy that they have accepted our invitation to the panel discussion. Today we are going to discuss artificial intelligence, things that, well, maybe you've heard too much about already, but we are going to discuss how to use AI in practice. I was supposed to prepare a presentation, but then I learned that we have limited time. So let me just give you one quote. A year ago, I wrote an article that started with the following sentence: the speed with which AI is developing, and especially the AI-based solutions are developing, is very high. I mean, ChatGPT needed a very short time to gain a very large number of users. That was not possible for other applications, like TikTok, for example, needed 9 months for that. ChatGPT started a year ago exactly, and after 1 year, the landscape has significantly changed. At the beginning, we were afraid that AI will be used for students to write their papers, but it turned out that there are many more applications. So I will start with a question. What change do you see as a result of AI being used in the field of education? Because we have technology experts, science experts, education experts. Let's start, Barbara, with you. What change have you noticed over the last year? What interesting has happened? Well, undoubtedly, the dynamics of adoption of the technologies related to AI is unprecedented and inspiring, and really there are lots of ideas and solutions that can constitute the basis for building what's happening in universities. This is one thing. The second thing is that, well, people when hear the word AI, they are curious. Today, AI is not a technology that you don't want to make friends with. You are ready to discuss with AI. You are ready to develop different concepts based on AI. And at the same time, there are a lot of attempts made to employ AI. Sometimes, of course, the experiments work, sometimes they don't, but this is a very nice way to learn what AI can be used for today. Katarzyna? Well, I have to add several words from the point of view of science. As far as AI is concerned, we need that research processes have speeded up in individual disciplines, but also the research on AI is much faster now. In the last 10 years, the number of publications regarding AI quadrupled. And this year probably will have a real boom of such publications. The process of writing publications is also different, because during the last year we've had publications co-authored by ChatGPT. Well, right now the publishing houses have already dealt with the problem. There are rules established of how AI or ChatGPT can be used in writing scientific publications. So what we see today is that many new opportunities have emerged for the use of AI in science, but of course there are also related challenges. Thank you very much. And Mateusz, what's your opinion? Well, from my perspective, what has changed mostly. Now, I would like to focus on G12 sector, This is a change of approach and perception, because the revolution of ChatGPT, because this is a revolution actually, speeded up by like 10 years, thinking about what is and what is not effective in education. We've come to the point where we don't have any doubts as to the fact that the previous methods used in education will not be applicable anymore at all. I mean, the whole system needs a radical change, starting the basis of the teaching program, the approach of teachers to their work, and also changes in students themselves. On the one hand, the whole process will be much more demanding for everybody, but on the other hand, it will give new opportunities because, well, in the educational process, we have a chance to automate those tasks that nobody liked to do. Right now, we are at the stage of shock, but together with our technology partners, we try to tame the process in order to make it less problematic and for it to generate a small number of difficulties only. We want to, well, eliminate the difficulties. Well, let me continue on this topic, because I've moderated several panel discussions over the last year. The biggest problems is that during most of the panel discussions, nobody's giving any details. Everybody's saying, well, okay, the world is changing, etc. You are very close to the tools and the trends. And the next question is going to regard these. I mean, could you share with the audience what, in your opinion, is going to change specifically? I talked to one person recently, and he said that probably there won't be any theoretical part in scientific articles, or maybe this part will be left, but it will be written automatically. I mean, writing this part, I mean, for a human being to write this part won't make sense anymore. So this is a specific thing that, in my opinion, is going to change in 5 or maybe 10 years' time. But our scientific articles will be written in a different manner. So this is my question to you. What may change in the area of education, science, and the future? Maybe language models are going to give feedback to the students. We already have semi-automatic tools to give feedback to students when checking their reading skills, etc., etc. So maybe soon Teams is going to tell me, okay, these are the recommendations of this feedback to the students. I can just approve or reject these. So the mundane jobs will be eliminated. So could you give your visions of the future, but quite specific visions? So let's start with Mateusz this time. Well, as far as specific feedback in education is concerned, well, it is quite clear right now. I mean, there is big temptation to use language models at different levels. And in order to civilize this process, we founded a working group together with our partners, including Microsoft. Together with Basia, we're working on the second material developed in the group. The first one was entitled ChatGPT in School, Opportunities and Threats. And right now we're working on the second paper, and that will discuss what AI is not intended for. Of course, with reference to schools. We would like to describe certain actions quite specifically, because there is temptation to use language models in different circumstances, not necessarily the ones where they should be used to. I may be tempted to make a note that also includes personal data, and personal data should not be included. But this does not mean that I cannot automate my everyday work by using language models like ChatGPT. At one of the conferences, people didn't like what I've said, because I said that one of the things in the future, one of the skills for the future, may be to learn how to ask questions to artificial intelligence. This may be a certain guidance. We have to realize the limitations of a given tool. We use different tools, that's obvious. But what we believe in education, when creating the edukacja.pl portal, for example, that AI can give us the feedback about ourselves. AI can help us draw conclusions that we ourselves might not think of. So the pupil or student should get feedback about his or her strengths and weaknesses, which the students themselves may not see. So we believe that AI-based tools can suggest to young people what would be a better or worse path for them, how they could develop. Because AI really offers immense opportunities to analyze data, much bigger than such abilities of human beings. So everybody would have like an e-tutor that would make suggestions to students. Well, yes, this could be the image. But what we would like to have is the tools to be commonly used in education, like, for example, education.pl portal, to be like a tutor that can guide the students starting from the primary schools until the end of a given person's education. It doesn't matter whether it's going to end at the level of graduation from high school or maybe, PhD or etc. Okay, and what about science? Well, I have to say that I'm working for the virtual assistant for students. They will definitely appreciate it. But from the scientific point of view, as far as the application of AI is concerned, I made a list of tools available for researchers that can be used when writing publications. They address, like, for example, making the review of literatures, manage the quotations, editing of the texts, looking for fraud and abuses. These are tools that are available today. You can search on the internet and you can find information of how to use AI when preparing your articles. This is quite a lot, in my opinion, especially that from the perspective of my scientific work, I didn't really like writing articles. From the perspective of Elsevier, this is the publishing house and also the owner of Scopus database, we're introducing two solutions backed by AI, searching through the literature, finding specific phrases based on an abstract that have been uploaded. So this can be useful for scientific research, and on the other hand, facilitation of finding a definition. Today, if a researcher wants to find a definition of a given phenomenon or process, especially when we're talking about new phenomena, you need to enter keywords, you have to prepare a library query, you have to read hundreds of pages, and then finally you have the definition of the process. What AI can help with is building of such a definition based on the data that you collect. So this is where I would see the application of AI. using AI to analyze the data. We have huge amounts of data available. The data are like new oil for industry and business. So data analysis as used would be would be the next step. Thank you very much. Also, ethics and equal opportunities is very important. I mean, will it be ethical for AI to write part of the article? And well, I think that we need two more definitions, because we're quite easily saying that we're equaling AI with ChatGPT, and this is not true, because actually AI is something that we have been working with since the 1950s. There are different solutions and programs that are available. I mean, the ChatGPT now is just the most popular recently. And the second thing is, well, it seems to me that we are now facing the change that was prepared for several years before. It seems like all the solutions that we worked on have exploded recently. So we now know that we have to be people who are open to knowledge, who learn during all their life, that is lifelong learning. So two more facts. Microsoft conducts research on World Trade Index every year. It's about the condition of the labor market. And what's being said is that the competence of the future that have to be, or skills of the future that need to be developed, the first one is analytical thinking. That is a possibility to draw conclusions from the data. We should not get attached to the fact that today we are a statistician and we analyze data. We have to realize that in some time our job may look different. So opening to knowledge is very important. Our research also indicates that in several years' time, like 5 years, 2/3 of jobs that we know today will disappear. They will not disappear permanently, leading to unemployment. They will be replaced by other types of jobs in the more or less the same number.
Consequently, we have to be very open to the fact that our work will change. Well, in Microsoft, some 3 years ago, I was a very good analyst. I could predict the sales trends, etc. I used Excel and other programs to do so. And I could do it. But now AI does it instead of me. So without being open to new changes, I would probably have lost the job. Where the AI can be useful. It can be useful, when we talked about that with Mateusz not long ago, it's got three conditions. Solutions, that's one, solutions included in all kinds of softwares. Teams, transcription, translation tools, all based on AI. But also these tools can write a note, minutes for us. They can prompt us some things when we want to write an email message or something. Then these are inbuilt AI solutions, inbuilt in different softwares. Another part is that they are kind of Lego blocks. It can equalize opportunities of students. For instance, you have a disabled student. You can add something offered by AI to our regular teaching program, so that it improves the reduces the disability of such students. And there's another thing is based on the existing algorithms and models, but things that we can customize for our needs. And in that case, the sky is the limit, of course. Right, rethinking is always highly necessary. To think twice about our role in the national economy, etc. I can tell you about animals. You may know that scientists love to call LM models like animals, a hawk, a llama, and other LMs. And such an animal can be kept by your own skills. It needs some knowledge, but you can get that required knowledge from GPT. You can learn from one AI part to another. You can read about some models and find it out in another AI segment. I encourage you to at least buy the GPT Chat Plus and spend 100 or 80 zlotys and have fun playing with it, because all the possibilities it offers are unlimited, like automatic generation of training programs. All that can be done by AI. It saves a lot of time and effort. So thank you for now. Thank you for this, the input you've made. But now, so far, but now we talked about education, about science. Now let's step down to the level of a student. Does AI help the students to find the right position in the university, at work, along the career path? When I was writing my doctoral thesis, I was scared of how much I have to read, how much reading I have to do, what I have to do. But many people could be scared of that, because knowledge was not so easily accessible. And now, how AI can help students today in their work and preparation for further professional life and employment? Well, I'm surprised that you expect this answer from me, but anyway, how could that AI help the scientific career of a student? Well, I also remember the beginnings of my scientific career, that toilsome process of reaching and getting information. But I hope that we will manage in some way to add some AI to doctoral postgraduate studies, because the whole shape and structure of postgraduate studies will probably have to change too. One thing, perhaps we expect a scientist to be someone who follows the new trends, but in practice we can see that they are probably the most conservative people, and they must always, they want cast iron evidence that they have to change something in their practices. So how can we make sure that the postgraduate students will get access to the new tools, and how they can use those innovations, in fact? Because it usually comes together with certain challenges as well, like ethical challenges, regulations, policies at the national and other levels, which tell us when you can use those tools and when you cannot. So we have to pass that knowledge to the new students and postgraduate students. On the other hand, there's a problem of disciplines that will use AI, because AI usually associates with, well, physics, science, etc. But it's not only that. It can also be helpful in designing new medicines, in designing other industrial products. So much depends on what happens in future. Well, this debate reminds me of the Minecraft discussion. It's dedicated for K-12 schools, but people used to think that Minecraft is useful at teaching people how to do programming, solve mathematical problems, because students hate studying maths, but Minecraft makes it a bit easier to them, gives them some space, perhaps some platform at which studying maths is easier for them. Things like grass, net, Terra, it seems to be well, difficult to master terms like that, but now with that project, the students find it easier. Students play Minecraft, but teachers don't. But the role of the teachers is also changing gradually. The teacher can be kind of a guide, a coach who helps to do the student work, not being a dispenser of knowledge. So we have to think, perhaps redefine the role of a university teacher, because technology probably changes that role a lot. Now, how AI can help the student to work? Well, it can help, and also it can change a lot in their life. The students may not need to memorize so many things, and AI may help them to develop the skill of analytical thinking, of being open to change, because AI may do the most the toilsome work of the shoulders. In Australia, they have done very interesting way too, using AI. They used to have up to 500 students in a lecture room. It's difficult, of course, right? It's difficult for a teacher to handle that crowd of students. So someone in Australia digitalized all the notes from his lectures, and students could just use them. They had access to it. He did not find it a problem that the students were recording his lectures, so they did so. And he also used AI for discussions with students. He installed a bot which helped to answer the questions, and from that he took this feedback to design 200 questions, and that was the method in which AI helped him to develop, to build a platform with the right questions, the right information to pass to the students. And it also helped the students to master the knowledge. So it seems to be a simple example, but it wasn't simple. It required digitalizing of the notes. It required changing of the style in which the students were working. And it required acceptance of the fact that much of the work was done by the artificial intelligence. Although we know it's just a tool, right? It's not a God who knows everything. All in all, they reached a fully personalized teaching for a large group of students. Was it Kellerman of Australia? Yes. A very inspiring example it is, how you can automate work of many students and have satisfaction out of that. Now you can speak as long as you wish because there is a lot of time. Well, this is a very convenient when I'm not pressed by running time, but in the students, school students, K-12, frankly speaking, these stages of education have to be connected. But let me start with this. Today, the revolution triggered by the ChatGPT and other such tools using AI has outpaced the development of information what actually AI is. And what is important from the perspective of the social life, the corporates, it is a great challenge because the whole population has to be well informed what kind of tool it is and how it should be used. We've started this work already, but it is important to just to understand what kind of tools are now in our hands. Let me give you an example of a electronic calculator. How it used to be, whether it was allowed or not at the examinations. It used to be perceived as a crime, in fact. We believed, we were fearing that those calculators just ruin the brains of students, etc. But now, well, it just does certain processes instead of us. And I think it's going to be something of a similar situation. AI will do certain unwelcome processes for us. So of course we have to do our own personal development. But if you have a tool and if you manage to read 10 books in a short time, you will never be able to absorb all that knowledge. But AI may help you do so. So the tools, AI-based tools, may really be kind of a calculator machine for students, just a help in doing unliked or hated processes. So we need to spread this knowledge about AI in this exactly way. We must spread the information, what it actually is, because it is a tool, highly efficient tool, very powerful, sometimes strange tool. Oh, you didn't finish yet. Okay. Okay, I can stop for a while. Okay. So, wrapping up, I believe that among many opportunities we have, I believe in the process of individualization of the career paths, because we always have to realize what actually we want to study, which profession we want to choose, etc. And this information that can help us to do such, to make such a choice exists somewhere. we don't always realize what it is and where it is. And AI may help us manage that information and use it for our benefit. It can help us to get a better perspective on ourselves. And Edukacja Gov.pl is going in this direction. So individualization of the education path, that is where we want to, we expect help from AI. So we can discover ourselves using AI. Well, the calculator machine inspired me for a certain question. But I thought that, well, how I use AI. During the recent year, I used AI a lot. I cannot live without using it. Just an example. When I go to a sauna, I will not write a text to them, but I just make a bot. I fill that bot with information, and my friends can use it whatever way they want, etc. The full automation, just 15 minutes, and a lot of files I can attach to it. So my first reflection was, okay, I will write 3 questions, but then I will ask chat, are these questions any good and right? Okay, so hey, chat, could you suggest some better questions to me? So what kind of risks are hidden here? All of us here, we know one risk, the facts, because we always have to check the facts. But, well, many people perhaps do not understand that. So is there any other risk here? That we can get addicted to this technology? Or maybe there is a risk that we will never be able to function without that, what are other potential negative aspects of it, and including perhaps the ethics of access. Scientific papers. Science is beautiful because it is comparable. All scientists writing papers have to do more or less the same things, to study the references, draw conclusions, do some, describe some process and proofs. But now, will they still have to do the same, or maybe not? So what is the kind of other risks involved here?
Well, and this is a question that has many dimensions. First of all, if we use artificial intelligence, there are different suppliers of artificial intelligence, and let's take a look at what values these suppliers are guided by. For example, in the opinion of Microsoft, AI has to be ethical. We participate in meetings of different committees, groups. We cooperate with the European Commission. We want AI to be a tool that will be used in an ethical and responsible manner. So certain conditions have to be met. Like, for example, if people check dosing of some medicine, AI should respond, well, okay, you better call the doctor and check it. Just a very simple example. So we have 7 rules according to which AI is built, and we believe that this is of the key importance. Secondly, we have to realize that AI, it is not an omnipotent thing. It's a tool that can be used as an assistant today. And of course, you always have to check the assistant. So the tool can facilitate our life, but it's not going to live the life instead of us. So if you prepare some paper, let's use the tools let the tool analyze the data, but still it is our final responsibility what the paper will contain. Like if you go to the sauna, you have to go there physically. If you spend your whole life in front of the display of the computer or looking at your smartphone, and you've also mentioned inequalities. I think that the market of universities is already functioning like that. That universities, of course, are subject to different rankings, so students may choose the university that they want. Universities also are guided by different values. Some of them will invest in digital development, others may invest in development of physical infrastructure. So again, students and researchers can choose where they want to study or work. And of course, those universities that will have the best tools, that will be very digitized, etc., will win. So you should think about offering equal opportunities in universities themselves. AI may eliminate inequalities. If you have disabled students, AI can solve a lot of their problems, like delivering the material from the lectures in the forms that the disabled student needs. Well, you can also have sauna in Minecraft. Mateusz? Well, as Basia has mentioned, this is a multi-layer question. There are many temptations that sometimes result from insufficient information. Today, we're facing global challenges, so the discussion about AI, its use, and education has to be an international discussion. We as humanity have to gather in the thinking about the use of AI. I'm far from the disastrous scenarios that have been mentioned recently. I mean, the ChatGPT revolution led to discussions in the public, like comparing that to the Terminator scenarios, etc., etc. Machines fully taken over. But we need to have international discussion, international regulations. We have to have equal access to information. And today, a question should be asked whether equal access to AI should not be a human right. Because today, we're already talking about international law and international regulations that will lead us to axiological questions. We cannot avoid that. And we know that this also matters in the context of competition between the Eastern and Western powers. We also have to say that proper use of artificial intelligence will enable us to optimize resources, global resources. So these issues need to be discussed internationally. It's good that big technology companies like Microsoft cooperate with the European Commission and on the proper use of artificial intelligence today, because this is a problem of civilizational nature. And we have to have the broadest possible picture of what we use today, and we have to address this appropriately. But we still have the discussion about the tool, about something that, as we believe, will optimize our life. because the fact that you will use the boat will save your time. But of course, there is temptation to overuse this solution. If you look at the optimum use of a smartphone, sometimes you have a problem with that. I mean, the notifications about that you use the smartphone for such time today and etc., etc. But this is the matter of education, because people get too focused on different solutions and tools, different circumstances, substances. So this is a civilizational trend to focus too much on some solutions. But it's the matter of universal education about these phenomena. Like we're talking about the use of technology and the related risks. We're also talking about abuse of certain substances, alcohol, sugar, etc. There is always a risk involved. But what is the civilizational responsibility is to spread the knowledge about the artificial intelligence. This should also be responsibility of the international institutions. All right, and Katarzyna? Well, I would like to say that I really envy your friends that they have such a good organizer of different events. My friends can only count on information where we're meeting and where we're going, and that's it. But going back to equal opportunities, well, as far as science is concerned, we don't have ideally equal opportunities. There are differences between Eastern and Western Europe and how universities operate in Western and Eastern Europe. And the visibility, scientific visibility in Eastern Europe, Western Europe, US, Asia, Middle East, there are differences. We can see that scientists work differently and universities use the potential in different manner. So talking about whether artificial intelligence is going to offer equal opportunities to us, it's hard to say because already today we don't have equality. But we may hope that the new tool that will be developed as an open source tool will enable scientists from the, let's say, emerging or developing countries to catch up. And it will also enable universities to catch up and have more equal opportunities. Because, of course, for now, we are not able to build visibility in the same way as those universities that have been doing that for years, so they have much bigger experience. AI will definitely enable new solutions to manage universities. Many processes can be improved, and also resource management. We can talk about resources management at the global level, but also at the university level. Like we have microscopes, for example, at the university, used by a very small group of scientists, and maybe if these are more visible, we can introduce a calendar, for example, where the microscopes will be used, and there is also a ethical matter, that is where AI will actually be used. So today there are no detailed regulations. The further we go with the process, the more aware we'll be of where we can use artificial intelligence, where it will be consistent with ethics. Like when we started investigating DNA, At the beginning, there were discussions of how far we can go with that, and the same will happen to AI.